Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to take a closer look at Rohan. Most of you guys have been asking lots of questions about this faction, how to farm them, who you can and can't farm, who you might be able to sub in. Hopefully I'll be able to answer all of that here today for you. First of all, the biggest issue with the Rohan team is the fact that you can't farm all of them. 4 of them you will get pretty early on. They're not that hard to get at all, but the one that you won't be able to get is Aldred, who is the healer. Now if you do like to spend money, there will be a pack that is offered to you pretty early on once you get into the game. It is quite an expensive pack, but it'll work out a lot cheaper than rolling the dice on the hero chest that is in the game, simply because you don't know who you're going to pull out of that. You may get all of the shards for him, you may get none at all, but he is actually one of the best healers in the game. He has 2 different heals. One will just heal the most wounded person in your team, the other one will heal the entire squad. The big heal though, you can't use very often. It's every 6 rounds that you can use that. So for a battle such as this one here, it's going to be perfectly fine. You're going to get plenty of turns. Somewhere like the arena though, you may only get to use that heal once in the entire battle. Now if you are free to play, the best one to substitute into that team is going to be Pippin. Since you're already going to have him unlocked, you're going to be working on him anyway for a few different areas in the game. He's a very good healer substitute to put in any team that you're going to have, especially in that early game. But besides the heal, he also has the ability to remove some of those debuffs, which can be very handy to have him in your squad anyway. Another option that you may want to consider is Naamiri, who is the Elven healer. You will have to work your way to the end of the Shadow Campaign 3-9 hard to unlock her, but she is quite a good healer, and she also has the ability to stealth, so that way she hides from the battle so she doesn't get taken out too easily. But by far the best one to add to this squad is going to be Halbarad. He is a very effective healer, Mr. Fix-It for most teams that you're going to have. The only thing is you will have to take a little bit of time before you can unlock him in the challenge store. He doesn't show up there every day, which can take just that little bit longer to be able to unlock him. There is a pack that is offered to you a couple of days in. That is a shortcut way to unlock him if you don't mind spending a little bit of money on him. Otherwise, you will have to grind him out in the challenge store, but he is still very much a free-to-play character that you can get. The only thing you have to keep in mind is that his healing ability will start just by healing himself and the most wounded character. As you build that ability up, it will add more characters to that ability and eventually the entire squad once you max it out. The other big question that I have been asked quite a number of times in regards to the Rohan team is when you're talking about Eothane. Because he is someone that myself and a lot of others do advise unlocking and building up in the early game, people are worried because he does die quite easily. This is actually for a couple of reasons. The first one is because a lot of players like to use the auto battle. Now when you use the auto battle, he is going to use that provoke ability as the first thing that he does. This means that he is going to invite 2 pretty big attacks directed straight at him right from the start of the battle. If you are using the Rohan team, especially as those missions start to get a little bit harder, do them manually so you can control when you use that ability. The other issue that players seem to have is that they don't gear him up. A lot of players will unlock him at 1 star and then they forget to keep farming him. You want to get him to at least 3 stars. After 3 stars, promoting him further than that can start to cost quite a bit in gold, which you won't have at the start of the game. So 3 stars is probably going to be that sweet spot that you want to get him while you're still training everybody up. The other thing is that players are putting all the green gear on him, getting him up to gear level 4, maybe gear level 5, and then forgetting to keep gearing him. You can get up to gear level 8. The higher you gear him, the longer he's going to last in a battle. Now you have to remember that his job in this team is to draw the main attacks, so you want him to be able to last as long as you possibly can. And the last thing that you need to do is keep upgrading his passive ability. That will keep adding max health to the character. The Rohan team is a very effective damage dealing team, but it's the defense that you really have to get right. And that's why, especially if you're using him in the arena, not having the healer isn't a bad thing. If you have Halbarad, he is good to put in there because he will also taunt and take away some of that pressure from Eothane. If you do have any specific questions in regards to the Rohan team, pop them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer everybody as I come across them. But in the next video, I'll be showing you a team that I've been working on to be a really good counter for the Rohan team, and they are all 100% free to play farmable and a very, very effective counter as you build them up. That's it for this one, guys. Don't forget, like and sub, you know the deal. We got plenty more Heroes of Middle Earth coming your way. Don't miss out. We'll catch you in the next one.